Government offices in Churachandpur and neighbouring Pherzawl witnessed thin attendance on Monday. It was a result of the ITLF's call. The state government has already declared no work, no pay for those who don't go to work. ITLF has asked the state government employees to not to attend the work from Monday, cookie-dominated area. But however, markets, schools, private establishments remained open and were not impacted. The question is, what sort of action should be taken against ITLF for abandoning and asking the people to abandon the government work? Manipur government is expected to take legal action against the ITLF. On this issue, I am joined by Suhas Chakma, Director Rights and Risk Analysis Group, and I am joined by Geetarani Thakalamba, Advocate, Manipur High Court, and subsequently I will be joined by General Meston. But first of all, I'll go to Mr. Chakma. Mr. Chakma, the legal action against ITLF will be taken soon. This work, no work, no pay. By the government and ITLF, asking people not to go to office, I don't think it's going to have any result, because ultimately 48 hours, 72 hours, people need their salaries, people will come back to offices.
Well, I think there are a number of issues. First of all, somebody says don't go to the office unless there is some amount of force, physical force. What kind of offenses are you committing? So that's the first issue.
Okay.
Second issue is the law of diminishing returns. At certain stage, this continued movement, non-cooperation, etc., will not be effective, because people want to get back to normal situation. So, obviously people will, what to say, be forced to go to the office, everything its salary. So in the long run, how long this kind of movements can continue. And we had seen actually in 2004 when Manorama Devi was killed. Initially thousands of people, lakhs of people came and protested. Then gradually it died down because people want to get back to normalcy. And the third issue is, if you don't want to pay, the question is, do you have adequate persons, who would be reporting that this person is not, has not come to duty or has come to the duty. So I think there are a number of factors. I think ultimately what is absent is the fact that, you need to initiate or engage in some kind of constructive discussions so the normalcy could return, and that's not something which the state government is engaging. And it's unfortunate if you cannot find some kind of engagement, and then you are not helping to build the peace yourself. So that would be my initial information.
Bijesh?
Well, I think, the person who's caught between the devil and the deep blue sea would be the government officers, because on one side, you will have diktat by ITLF saying that don't join the work, and they jolly well know the risk that if they defy the order, they run the risk of getting bodily harm, they run the risk of, of physical assault, they run various risks which the government will not be able to protect them. And if they don't go to the office, they run the risk of not being paid. I think they are damned, they don't do, they are damned. And they are the one who is, I think, caught between the two sides, and they are the one who is going to be, be the victim in the entire diktat. I think the government is right, but to make sure that those people go and join office, they should provide a conducive atmosphere in which at least there is no fear of retaliation, or there is no fear of bodily harm, physical harm to me. Otherwise, how else are you going to go to office without the risk of getting thrashed?
But let me go across to Geetarani, because this issue we discussed, and Mr. Chakma was there. But then the suspension of one officer and reinstatement, and you are asking people in two districts not to go to government offices to carry out public duty. That is the important thing. To carry out the public duty. For what thing? One constable who was found getting his picture click, selfie, with armed miscreants. So the action was taken.
Yes, Kartikeya. See, the action taken and the reactions is totally disproportionate. As if a chance to create violence was waiting for. It was like full blown, like police station being burnt and public properties being destroyed, DC office, mini secretariat being ransacked. It was uncalled for, and total, collapse of rule of law could be seen on that day of 15th, I think. And this, and it was not dismissal, it was a suspension of the police officer for investigation, as is as normally it happens. Once a officer is found to do something illegal, unethical, investigation has to be done against him. As a public officer, he has some duty which he has to, performed. And if he's found to violate some rules, investigation, and then suspension pending the investigation is a normal thing to do. So against this, such kind of actions, announcement by ITLF demanding reinstatement of the officer, and then instigating this kind of violence, and the amount of destruction which took place, death threats to SP Sivanand survey, and then DC office being burned, his residence also being attacked. I don't know actually, Kartikeya, frankly speaking, there seems to be total collapse of rule of law in that district. So first of all, before the government, issues dictate that all the government officers or the employees should attend the office, rule of law needs to be brought back in the district of Churachandpur and Kangpokpi and the border districts, before actually expecting the people like Kartikeya, Bridges has mentioned. I totally agree. The employees are the victim here now. They have to face the brunt of civil societies like ITLF, and miscreants trying to enforce the dictates of
No, no, but there is
ITLF.
also another thing, I thought, I will do it, raise this issue in a different forum, but you raised an important point. These civil society actors taking law in their own hand. What is ITLF? It's not a state government, it's a civil society organization, but asking government officers not to go. Now, Mizo Student Union is saying, it's being reported that they held an emergency meeting in evening, and they passed a warning saying that if the government of Manipur plans to deport Zo-ethnic groups who entered Manipur after 1961, they would, they would take steps to send all the Métis residing in Mizoram. I'm saying this is tyranny of civil society groups.
Exactly. We are talking about NRC, implementation of NRC, and we are talking about deportation of people who are not citizens of India. And what are the Mizo student unions saying? The Manipuris, the Meitei staying there, they are citizens of India. On what grounds they are going to deport? This is utterly nonsense and not implementable. It's not going to work out.